Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. On the show tonight, we'll be talking about the handball. Of course, the season is starting and the Federation President will be joining us to talk about handball and what they intend to do this season, and also taking a look at what happened in 2022. And also, the Premier League will get our attention because you have the North London Derby and also the Manchester Derby this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And for Arteta, he's trying to see how he can really end that long winless streak at Tottenham Hotspur. Can he do that, especially with him being named Manager of the Month for the second time this season and the fourth time in his career? Also in the program, NPFL will also get our attention because it's going to be, do we call it match day 1 or match day 2? Yes, it started last weekend, but most of the games did not hold. But this weekend, all the games will be played at different stadiums in Nigeria. And of course, Invictus Games. Yes, you must have heard of that. That particular Paralympian Games that belongs to injured military that was formed by the Duke of Sussex, talking about Prince Harry. So that will also get our attention because Nigeria is already a member. And this year, they're planning to be part of the country that will be going to Düsseldorf in Germany, where the 6th edition will be holding. Of course, Austin will join me much later on the program, and Favor Itwai is right here in Lagos today. Yeah, okay, Austin.
I don't want to join much later.
I'm running.
Greetings to you and everyone joining us from different parts of the world. Always an action-packed world of sports. You know, so much going down, particularly this weekend. Yes. Right here in England, it's going to be hot, hot, hot. When Manchester United will take on Manchester City, and then Tottenham will take on Arsenal. You know, like this weekend is just going to be super duper football all the way. So we're looking forward to it, but we'll not ignore what's going on in Nigeria. We'll continue to talk to Federation President. It's the new year. What are your plans? What do you hope to do differently in 2022, in 2023? What did you do in 2022 that you should consolidate? We had badminton on the show yesterday. Today's the turn of handball. And I heard you talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. I cannot wait for that to get underway. Let's roll.
Yeah, we're really neat. Of course, Favor Itwa is in the studio. He's also joining us to roll the ball and see what we'll be giving you guys this evening on Sport Tonight. Favor, it's good to have you join us.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Good evening.
You're welcome. Happy New Year.
It's
still the New Year.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Okay, we're going to be starting with handball, of course. Once the Federation President joins us, Samuel Ocheo, will be talking about what their plans are for this year. And also the fact that we have the underage team, the under-20 and also the under-18 also going for a continental trophy, a championship this season in Congo, Brazzaville. Yeah, 16th. Yes, 16th. That's this very weekend, 16th to 20th. That's when that championship will be holding. We'll also be talking about that one because handball has been busy.
Yeah, of course. When you look at the last few months, even in the last 1 year, we've had series of leagues, you know, different centers. At one point in time, at those states, you know, handball has taken another dimension, ensuring that it's not just about the early division. They also have the age grade, you know, division, ensuring that, okay, they push the sports to the world. And don't forget, in Africa, when you talk about the North Africans, we talk about Egypt, and Nigeria is also, you know, going up there. And I mean, I think they're doing a lot for themselves to ensure they put handball in the global map in Nigeria and across Africa and across the world. So fantastic news coming out from there. I just hope they can push and, of course, get sponsors that would help them. Of course, the league also has sponsors, so we can imagine what handball would be when it comes to, later this year.
All right, Samuel Ocheo is joining us now on the program. Good evening. It's good to have you join us.
So, Cecilia, we'll just wait for Samuel Ocheo to, you know, clean up, and then if you join the conversation, we'll take a look at the development of handball in Nigeria. What are the plans for 2023? I remember in 2017 when Samuel Ocheo was elected president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. He said first he wants to give the sport some following and then rebuild the national team. Has the board been able to keep to, you know, that promise? Samuel Ocheo joins us now on the program. Good evening, President of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. Good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Good evening, Austin, and good evening, everyone. in the studio. Nice to be here tonight.
Awesome. Good to have you with us on the show. Happy New Year. What's going on with handball in Nigeria? What should we be expecting in 2023?
Thank you very much, Austin. The year has started for us. We ended the year on a high note by ending the championship challenge in the Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan. We won both the under 18 and under 20 category. Now in continental phase, where all the zonal champions will be.
Okay, we'll try to see if we can get better reception for Samuel Ocheo, but I like the way I started already talking about age grade handball, Cecilia, and that's what we're talking about. When you start talking about age grade, then it means you have development in mind.
Yeah, it's obviously key. I love the fact that he said they ended the year on a high, because just last year they were able to win the championship for the African Zone 3 in Abidjan, in Abidjan, where in Côte d'Ivoire, under 18, under 20 categories, and that's how they picked the ticket, for the continent. Talking about the Trophy Continental Championship that is in Congo Brazzaville. So you're having the under 18 and the under 20. I mean, the men's basketball team, they left today for that particular championship. So this is a good way to really encourage them and also groom players for the senior teams.
Yeah, of course. And I think one thing that's helped the Handball Federation is also the National Youth Games. Now, don't forget the National Youth Games is under 15. And when you go to Ilorin to watch these athletes play from different states, I think the Federation President and the officials have decided to ensure that, they pick athletes from those age grade competitions, groom them, and then ensure they're superstars in the future.
Yeah, I just hope that they will do better in this one. It's just how many days? 16th to 20th of this month, Congo Brazzaville. And of course, Austin, I mean, when you talk about age grade tournaments, if you're having handball, they have a league. I mean, they're the league that, they have Division 1, I mean, and also the senior division running across. Even when basketball can't even organize a full-fledged league, but you have Handball Federation, having something like that. And badminton president was here yesterday when he talked about the fact that they also want to adapt that particular model whereby you have players having opportunity to play, working with at least for a span of 3-4 months and also earn money for themselves while being active.
Yeah, and Cecilia, that's why on this show we've been calling on the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to say support sports that are making efforts to, develop, support sports that are pushing to, make a difference despite all of the challenges. And handball is part of one of those sports that we can see. If you name handball, you can talk about wrestling, talk about maybe table tennis, volleyball.
Yes.
They push to do some of these competitions. Funding is still a problem, but they find a way to still get into it. For instance, the Handball League has been going on for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's been consistent.
Yeah.
It's been a good breeding ground for talent in Nigeria. In fact, that league has produced more national team players for the country since it started. So it's a good one. I totally agree with you that when you take a look at basketball, it's supposed to be the big brother and show the way. We can't even see some of these competitions, So shout out to all of those sports that, despite all of the challenges and setbacks, they are still repping. Let's get back to Samuel Ocheo. Samuel Ocheo, good to have you back on the program. You were talking about some of the things you did in 2022 and what we should expect in 2023.
Yeah, thank you very much, and apologies for the network issues. I think I've changed the network. This is better. 2023, what we are looking forward to do is to replicate all our championships again, starting from the under 12, under 15 to 18, 21, Division 1 League, and then our Premier League. Interestingly, all our sponsors at this point, all our contracts kind of expired last year. But we are at advanced talks again with our sponsors to renew the sponsorship, and we are of high hopes that this will happen. So we're looking forward to replicating this, and also on the international level, we're looking forward to participate at the IHF Challenge Trophy for men and also for the ladies. So this year is also going to be very, very busy. And we are counting on the support of all the board members and all handball stakeholders to ensure that we achieve the objectives we set for this year.
Let's talk about the league. What has the federation done to keep it going?
Well, luckily, we are one of the few federations that have had the title sponsor in the last 5 years, called the Prudent Energy Handball Premier League. We are still in talks with them to roll over the sponsorship because it expired last year. And we, like I said earlier, we are at advanced stage of negotiation, and we're going to continue to do our best to give visibility to the sponsor, because what the sponsor wants to see is to be able to see some value from the sponsorship that they are doing, and to also see that there's accountability for the funds they are releasing to the sport. And I think so far they are happy with us. So far they seem to be very, I mean, if you were at the finals of the last year league, you saw how the chairman of Prudent Energy Group was doling out cash prizes to all the participants and even the officials at the tournament. So that tells us that they are very happy with what we are doing, and we'll keep working hard to make the league the envy of all eyes.
Interesting. I love that angle, actually making it the envy of all eyes. Right now, even we are envious of it because we want to see other federations, taking a cue from what handball is doing. Are we going to see anything different? Because you said you're going to try to replicate what you did in 2022, in 2023. Are we going to see anything different? Because next year is the Olympics. Are there plans for that, or what are you guys going to do to ensure maybe we have to feature a team at the Olympics?
Well, I mean, it's all about baby steps. While we're sleeping as a country in terms of sport development, the North Africans had overtaken us in the game of handball. And today, the North Africans are way, way ahead, especially Egypt and Tunisia. Setting a milestone for the next Olympics will be unachievable, if you ask me. And I don't want to deceive myself. We're taking it gradually. That's why we've gone back to the underage competition to start producing new players, and we're putting the right foundation in place to ensure that the Olympic becomes a dream that comes true. But the next one, if you ask me, is too close. These things don't just happen overnight, and I will be in fool's paradise if I think that overnight we'll just go and topple the North Africans. No, we'll keep doing the right thing, keep laying the right foundation, keep developing our technical people, keep developing our players, keep exposing them to top-notch facilities abroad, and before you know it, we believe we'll regain our pride of place in Africa.
I mean, I actually love that. Favor, let me come to you quickly. I mean, he mentioned that he doesn't really want to, dream yet. Yes, it's a process, but you think that's really good for handball to develop first, and then before you start thinking of, going the long haul, which is, of course, the target of most athletes who are playing these games.
Well, I think the president is being realistic. You should not, in as much as you want to be optimistic, you should also be able to tell yourself the truth. Don't forget, the Olympics is not just planned within 1 year. You have to start planning even before the next one starts. And you look at the process, it's trying to go into the grassroots to see how you can bring the young ones and then hoping to develop them. Maybe we can be talking about the next 2 Olympics. Maybe. Don't forget, in Africa, we're not yet there. The North Africans are dominating. So if we can probably, take it a step at a time, maybe dominate the All-African Games. From there, we can start dreaming of the Olympics. I'm not saying we should not plan, but then we should also take it a step at a time. Not to also forget that these facilities are not everywhere for, athletes to just go and, train for handball sport. So they should, keep it, make it consistent, ensure that the right coaches are being, employed to, help these athletes. Because one thing also is, ensuring that we have the best model and the techniques, to ensure we have our players, compete at the top level. So I think I agree with him with the angle that we'll not be ready by 2023, 2024, maybe the next 2 Olympics, maybe.
Maybe. Austin, I mean, I love the fact that he's being realistic. He doesn't really want to dream so big for now. Yes, the dream big will come later, but he doesn't really want to go that. Austin, what do you think about this?
Ocho, right from when he became president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, he's always been telling us that we need to take it one step at a time. He's been realistic with what was on ground when the new board came, and he's saying that we first need to build before we start thinking about going out there to conquer Africa and the world. And I think he's on the right track. I think they need to do more for the league, discover more talent. And as he said, the objective is to also keep the grassroots going. Let's bring back Samuel Ucheo into the conversation. Tell us how challenging it has been to organize the league, and is it meeting the objectives?
Well, it is meeting the objectives. The idea is for the league to churn out new set of players while the older ones are aging out, and that is what is happening. Some of the players that started in our under 12 championship in 2018 are today playing at the senior level. That's the Prudent Energy Handball League. I think that's smart development, honestly. I didn't think it was going to be that fast. And a lot of them are coming out. Different states are coming out with new players that played on the 15 in 2019, 2020. Today are already playing at the highest level. Some of them, one of the players that played our league in 2019 today is a toast of Nigeria. Is currently in Spain playing for Granola. We have other people. One of our other players is currently in Russia playing at the top league there. So for us, the league has achieved this objective, and we're not resting on our oars. We still want to see a lot more of our players play at the top level in Europe, so that Nigeria's name can be displayed everywhere at the Champions League of Handball and in even the Europa League of Handball. Well, that's where we want to see our players competing, and we're on the right track for that.
Let's still stay with the league, as the league exposed the need for the federation to train our coaches.
Of course, I mean, the league has surely exposed that. Our coaches need to be trained. They also know that they need to be trained, and we're doing our best. Part of what we did at the league is bringing in top-class referees from Africa, who are also international handball referees badged. We brought them in to come and participate in our league. Even the chief referee for Africa, we brought him in to come and participate in our league, so that they can also help our coaches develop. Our coaches are getting better with the rules. The referees are getting better with the rules. I think what will be the next step is for us to bring top coaches across the world to come and help develop our coaches. Because in as much as our coaches are doing their best, they still need to be trained to meet up with what the international best practice requires.
Cecilia?
Okay, before we wrap up this discussion, of course, I mean, you talked about all the things you achieved in 2022. Are we going to see something different this year? Any new addition that we want to see from the federation?
Well, from the league standpoint, let's see. Like I said, we're currently negotiating with the sponsor. We'll try to introduce new things. At this point, I would rather not say yet. Let's keep doing our negotiation, and when that comes to fruition, we'll see something different from what it used to be. Even if it is from the prize money perspective and all the subsidies we normally give, we hope that the sponsor will buy our idea and new things will come in. And we're also going to be aggressively looking out for more sponsors so that we can host our competitions without issues.
And I love
Samuel Ucheo. Yeah, before we let you go, in 1 minute, we agree that we are still building handball in Nigeria. When should we start expecting handball in Nigeria to rule in Africa, possibly the world?
Austin, thanks. I came to lay the foundation. Others will build on it, and we'll see where that goes.
You laid the foundation with the first term. This is your second term. Come on, we should start seeing the building.
We're already winning some competitions in Africa, right? Like the IHF Challenge Trophy, we were the continental champion. Today, the team has gone out to defend this trophy. If we win again, that's something they'll go to the intercontinental stage in March. I will take it, like I said, it's baby step. I don't want to rush myself. I don't want to do the wrong things. I want to stick to doing the right thing. and the result will naturally follow.
All right.
I want to say thank you so much, Samuel Ocheo, for your time on the show tonight, and all the best with the development of handball in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justin. Thank you very much, everyone in the studio. Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year to you too. So that's it, Samuel Ocheo, President, Handball Federation of Nigeria. We'll keep the conversation going when we come back from this break. Favor Itwa will tell us if he's truly impressed with what he has seen with handball in Nigeria. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Sports tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at the development of handball in Nigeria. Favor Itwa is with my colleague Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos. Favor, you listened to Samuel Ocheo. You impressed? You like some of the things he talked about?
Yeah, I'm one person that has followed Samuel Ocheo for the past few years. I also remember that, handball did not, of course, start today. It started before his time. But since he came on board, he has been able to put some templates in place to ensure that, handball is being driven not just at the national level, but again at the grassroots level. Like we've seen, this is not just about saying, but we've seen leagues, being run concurrently with other leagues division in terms of the KD level, and also not forgetting the early division. We've also seen how sponsors, quote unquote, a lot of sponsors would want to go to football, but they've been able to channel their resources into handball, and that's not what we used to see when it comes to sports in Nigeria. And then I think it can only get better. We should just hope that he keeps it like this, and then hope for more sponsors and hope for more development and discovery, and we can just dream of African championships, maybe.
Cecilia, I could see you had to come in to help me when Ocheo was trying to dribble. I was to pay a foundation. We want to see results. But kudos to the federation. I think they're trying.
Yeah, I mean, I love what he said about he came in to actually build. Before he came, we were not even talking about handball. Volleyball was trying to come in, badminton were trying to do that. But handball came and he's been able to, drastic changes that he has actually made. And he's been magnanimous, telling you, look, we have to be realistic. I came here to build. Someone else will come and consolidate on what he has started. So I just hope that after his other term is over, whoever is going to come in will be able to take the project to the next level. Of course, we want to see Nigeria winning the African Championships and also, if possible, qualifying for the Olympics. That would be a big step because, Austin, from what you said, you're tired of these baby steps, but you have to take the baby steps first, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of dream right there, to talk about handball at the Olympics, Nigeria. It's okay, but let's take it one step at a time.
It's good to dream.
Let's talk about the Invictus games, yes. Cecilia. You talked about it while we're coming when you were doing your introduction. I love it so much because the Invictus games use the power sports, and when we talk about the power sports, it gets me, awake. It's using the power sports to inspire recovery, support rehabilitation, and generate a wider understanding and respect for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women. You can use sports to turn around and transform lives. And
I love the fact that in May, Duke of Sussex actually announced that Nigeria, Colombia are the latest to join this particular new community structure. Nigeria has joined, and here in Abuja, just earlier today, they played a particular, a friendly match, a sitting volleyball match between FCT, Team FCT, and also Nigerian military. That's the wounded soldiers. They played this particular game, just a friendly, to tell everyone, yes, we've joined in the Invictus Games, and of course, we will be planning to go for the big one, which is the 6th edition of the Invictus Games that will be held in Germany, in Düsseldorf, later this year, September 9th to 16th. So this is a huge step, bringing Nigeria joining this community of Invictus Games. Usually we see it, we watch, we saw Prince Harry, Meghan, and we just watch them. Okay, what is this all about? But right now, when you see Nigeria part of it, so it's something we really want to come in and really talk about, because servicemen in Nigeria will definitely enjoy from this one.
Yeah, fantastic. You look at these persons, yes, they've served Nigeria, and it should not be the end if they are wounded, if they are injured. There should be a means of joy. There should be a means of, and don't forget, sport is a unifying tool. So having these ex-servicemen join, this particular stuff, it's going to really help them to rediscover themselves. It's also going to bring opportunities their way to tell themselves that, yes, I might not be able to do what I used to do, but I can also have joy doing what I love to do. So it's more like ensuring, the other side of sport for servicemen who participate in combat sports will then have those that are injured also have their own. I think it's a more of balance in that.
Yeah, I mean, just similar to what we have in the Paralympics, right, Austin?
And what the Invictus games are trying to pass, the message it passes is to say that our servicemen cannot be conquered, that they cannot stay down, and that's so powerful because they represent the country, they stand up for the people, protect the fatherland, and then in the course of, that service, some of them, gets wounded, gets injured, some lose their arms, legs are gone. What the games is trying to say to us is that, look, these guys cannot be beaten because right after their service years, they still get to use sports to stay inspired and also tell somebody that, look, when you're down, you're not out. I keep saying it that sports has got the power to transform lives. And we've seen this over and over and over again when life comes tough on some people, they feel the power of sports and they pick themselves back up. Beautiful story.
Yeah, it's good. Right, let's listen to those in charge of actually promoting this game in Nigeria.
The Invictus is for wounded in servicemen and also for veterans. But in Nigeria, here is different. So it's targeted at our wounded soldiers, those people who have fought to defend the territorial integrity of our nation, who were wounded in action. And we are using this as a form of recovery for them, through sports. Yeah, the essence of this is to help our wounded in servicemen, in terms of recovery. And that's what the Invictus is. And if you're seeing here today, you've been here all through, you've seen that our men are renewed. There's a renewed vigor and a renewed hope for them. This is not the first endeavor. We had the first one in October when we became part of the nations, the Invictus Community of Nations. And now we are doing our second endeavor, and I can assure you this is not going to be the last, endeavor we are going to be having. Also, I'll use this opportunity also to thank the Chief of Defense Staff for, accepting, agreeing for our men to be part of this Invictus Community of Nations. And we became the first African country to be participating, or being in this community. We hope that we go for the games in Germany, Düsseldorf in 2023. So yeah, and that's what it is.
Bringing myself to the system of this Invictus Game Foundation is to make myself to be happy and feel myself that I'm still living and I'm still existing, to show the world that I'm still a soldier and I can still do better than to be idle. Let me come out and participate, belong to a mix of people and do well.
As a wounded soldier, it's you happen not to be doing most of the things you did before you got injured. Before now, I couldn't believe that I'll be playing sitting down volleyball. But Invictus Games have taught us how to play sitting down volleyball, wheelchair, basketball, and I think it has helped us a lot. It has helped us mentally.
Yeah, interesting stories coming from the soldiers who have actually fought before for this country. And hopefully, Nigeria will be part of the 20 nations that will be taking part in the 6th edition in Düsseldorf this year. About 500 competitors is being expected to take part. And also, well, they're going to have different adaptive sports, and this obviously will also help these athletes to be more relevant and also enjoy playing the sports that they love. All right, we'll leave it there and quickly go to the league. Yes, the league match day 1. Favor, I'm trying to, how do we call it? Match day 1 or match day 2? Because it started last week. Yeah, we just had one game. And then it's coming this week. But before that, we have to talk about Remo Stars. Of course, their plans for the year. Remo Stars had a good outing last season. And this season, they're rolling out some plans that they really want to, bring up something good.
Yeah, of course, Remo Stars, they had a fantastic season, and not forgetting also on the continent, they almost went past as far of Morocco, but they did not, go past them. And let's not forget, the former coach who helped them get to that particular level is no longer there. Yeah. We have another coach, and they call him Ijabol, and he has been able to make some.
What's his real name?
Ogumode. So he has been able to still, bring his philosophy into the team. I think, of course, Remo Stars, in as much as we are expecting so much from them this season because of what they did last season. I think it's a developmental, thing for the players, young players coming to the club, players from the lower level of Remo Stars graduating to the senior level, exposure of players, and I also have some key players who have also had quality in the league, the likes of Anyeke Masuko, who was with Akwa United, under 20 players in the team, some other exciting players with Remo Stars. I think they have everything going for them. They have a stadia, which, of course, is top-notch when you talk about the stadia we have in Nigeria. The only thing left for them is that they should just go out and play and ensure. I don't really think they should put the pressure on themselves to finish at that same position or better than the position, but then they can dare to dream of winning the title. But nevertheless, they should ensure they still turn out and bring up that good performance they brought last season.
All right, let's listen to the CEO, Lukman Ogungbefun, talking about their plans this season.
Well, for the league, well, we are starting from where we stopped last season, so we are going to strive to take it higher than that, than what we were able to achieve. I think that is our goal, and that's what we're going to work on. Well, concerning the grants, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's good. It's something. I mean, unlike last season that there was nothing, it's something. But I believe that with the new initiative, the IMC, NFF's innovation, each club could equally have a better sponsorship deals once we get it right. Getting it right talks about policy, policy framework that allow clubs to think, allow clubs to just go inward, look inward, generate money, not some money, I mean, hanging somewhere, but generate money, create relationship with companies. There are many companies in Nigeria who would want to be part of this, but maybe policy, maybe the pattern. Once, I'm sure that with the innovation that this new system that is being operated now, I'm sure you see individual clubs getting sponsorship, and that's the starting point. So I'm sure that club self-sufficiency is at hand, is close by.
Yeah, Austin, I believe you listened to the chairman, the CEO of Remo Stars, talking about how clubs can be self-sufficient. Yes, I mean, privately run. So when he's talking, you just have to listen.
Yeah, but Remo Stars, the shining example of what we want with league football, with club football in Nigeria, and that's because they are treating it as a business, and that's what we are talking about. When you treat it as a business, you think about development, you think about growth. If you're putting money into something, you hope to get more money out of it, and so you want to operate with standards. It talked about the need for Remo Stars to consolidate on some of the things that they achieved last season. I totally agree. And he talks about, self-sustainability. It's not just about Remo Stars. They run an academy. They run a fantastic, infrastructure right there in Ikene. They are developing players, they're sending players abroad. It's business, and if state-owned clubs in Nigeria can think like this, then they will start to change things. First thing first, the guy, the owner of Remo Stars, made sure that the playing ground, the breeding ground, where you make the money, where you make the players, infrastructure, stadium is top-notch. Yes, he kept that aside. Welfare of the players, and that's why I wasn't surprised when Remo Stars got into the league the way they did. Don't forget, they opened the league last season.
Yes.
By coming to Lagos to beat MFM, remember?
Yes.
And then when they did that, we said, what's going on? Favor just told us how close they were to, pushing as far out of continental competition, and they were just getting into it for the first time. So that's what you reap when you do the right thing. So I'm waiting to see. It's just that I'm not a big fan of this abridged league. I just want to see the 6 teams that would get into the Super 6, and for me, that's when the league starts.
The Super 6. All right, talking about the league, let's just quickly take a look at the games for this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We have lots of games, unlike last week where we had just about how many games? Yeah, we had just 1 game. Insurance and Aqua United. Okay, we have not Premier League yet, so we'll come to Premier League much later. But then we'll go to Nasarawa United, and of course, Eimba will be in action in the Nigeria Professional League match day 1 fixtures from Group A. Then Plateau United and Shooting Stars will also be in action. Kwara United and Gombe United is also another game to look forward to. You have Remo Stars and Economy Warriors will also be in action. That's from Group A. We'll move over to Group B, the games for this weekend. Bayelsa United and Dakada in action. Wiki Tourist and Niger Tornadoes also will be in action. You have Doma United and Sunshine Stars. You have Rangers and Abia Warriors. So these are the games to look forward to in the Nigeria Professional Football League. So, Favor, which one gets your attention? First, you have, do we start with Dakada? That used to be your team. Not anymore.
Not really, though. but for the Group B fixture for Bayelsa United returning to the league, they would want to start on a winning note. Don't forget that we played at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenagoa. And for Dakada FC, a team who missed, who almost went on relegation last season, they were able to survive on the last day of the season, and it's going to be a cracker. I mean, Dakada FC used to be in the NNL some years ago. Bayelsa United want to make a statement. I mean, we saw what they did at the end of the Wiki Tourist of Bauchi, Niger Tornadoes. It's going to be an interesting one for Niger Tornadoes. They also want to show themselves and say, yes, we are here, we want to do something this season. For Wiki Tourist of Bauchi, well, they might want to tell themselves, we have our stadium, a fortress, let's make it a fortress this season and get something out of this one. Doma United, the team, we thought would, sell the slot. But at the end of the day, the chairman came and said, no, we are not selling the slots. And just some days ago, they got a new boss, and they are really pushing themselves right now. They want to dare to dream. So we can also give them an opportunity. After all, they qualified and made it to the NPFL against Sunshine Stars, who also, at some point, were tipped to be given to a private.
Can they quickly do that?
I mean,
have the players been paid?
I really do not know. But Sunshine Stars, we all know welfare issues, lots of things with Sunshine Stars. But let's hope that they'll be able to make something out. Rangers, Abia Warriors, oriented derby. For Rangers, they're playing at the neutral ground again this season at the Oka Stadium against Abia Warriors, who also just recruited some players. So Abdul Maikaba will want to see if he can make Oka another ground away from the Cathedral in Enugu. And then maybe the Nasarawa United Eimba game is also a game to watch out for. Don't forget, for Nasarawa United, they are not playing in Lafia, so it's a neutral ground. Eimba can also tell themselves, hey, we made some signings this season, and we can see, and of course, their start coach, Yema Olariwaju, who joined Finidi George in that team, we want to try one or two things in that. And then for Shooting Stars, the talk of the town, some persons are saying, oh, they are the Nottingham Forest because of the signings they've made. They made over 15 signings this season. But Gbenga Agubote, I watched them during the Super 4 preseason. They were fantastic. If they can keep the momentum, Sikiru Alimi is back to the team. They also have some exciting players in that team, and we can hope that they can bring up surprises and just tell the Ibadan fans that we're not going to be battling relegation, and then we want to aim for the league. For Remo Stars, El Kalemi Warriors back into the league after the Abridged League. The last time they had an Abridged League, they were relegated. So this time they will not want to allow that happen. And then Kokora United and Gombe, they will be playing at Lekon Salami Stadium. That's also going to be difficult for them. That is not the ground they know very well.
It's very far.
Not really far though. When you talk about Ilorin to Ibadan, it's 2 hours. Less. It's more like you're talking about maybe Lagos and Ibadan. So Ilorin and Ibadan is not too far, but then they have the traditional ground in Ilorin where they know how to punish teams. So playing away from there, let's see how they can handle that.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, a quick one. Which one will get your attention? Finidi George, can he do something different for him? But he had time last season. So this season, I believe he would have gotten used to the league.
But with an abridged league, it will be difficult because an abridged league, everybody is just looking towards top 3 teams that will get out of the group. But yes, Eimba is Eimba, the people's elephants. You'd expect them to make it out of their group. I'm also looking forward to seeing what Plateau United can do. I think they are a decent team. They showed their quality last season, and starting off the season with Shooting Stars is a good test for them. So let the show begin.
All right, let it begin. Of course, we're leaving the NPFL now and quickly touching down on the EPL. We'll go straight to England. Yes, Austin mentioned that London would definitely be hot. Not London precisely. I mean, that's one of the biggest derbies. But before that, there's also the Manchester derby. Let me just quickly run through the games for this weekend, where you have Manchester United and Manchester City. That's the Launch Sports Saturday afternoon, Brighton and Liverpool also be in action. You have Everton and Southampton in action also. Nottingham Forest and Leicester City. Leicester City floundering. Wolverhampton and West Ham, Brentford and Bournemouth will also be in action. Now, flipping over to Sunday's games, where you have, well, the hottest one in London, where you have Arsenal and Tottenham in action. Of course, Newcastle and Fulham also in action. Chelsea, another derby, but not as big as the North London derby. Chelsea and Crystal Palace will also be in action. Yes, our focus is obviously going to be on the derbies. The big derbies, not the little one, but the big derby. So we start with the Manchester derby, which is this Saturday lunchtime. Pep Guardiola and Erik ten Hag will lock on this Saturday.
Another test for Erik ten Hag. He's been having a series of wins, 8 wins in a row for Manchester United. And you want to tell himself, a Manchester City side at this time, he will really be happy to face them. Don't forget, the last time Manchester City played last year against Manchester United, it was not funny at all. 6-3 it ended last time, the first leg. And this time around, Manchester United have been on a very good form, and they want to test their resolve against a Manchester City side who recently lost against Southampton at the FA Cup. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Carabao Cup, I beg your pardon. It's going to be an interesting one. And, of course, Dr. Marcus Rashford is firing on all cylinders at the moment. So you expect him to come up to the party. And then for Manchester City, they will want to bounce back, knowing fully where the Arsenal is just 5 points that separate both sides. So it's really going to be important, and for especially Erik ten Hag to make a statement and tell the side that, hey, we are not here to just win smaller teams or quote-unquote average teams. We want to win the big teams in England.
Austin, over to you. You know what's currently going on in England right there. Let's go to Manchester. I mean, how is it going to be? Will it be Marcus Rashford, Dr. Rashford versus Erling Haaland? These two guys are scoring as if goals are going out of fashion.
No, I mean, the Manchester derby definitely will get us talking. But at Old Trafford, Manchester City seem to know how to handle Manchester United on that ground. And don't forget that they've already punished Manchester United this season at the Etihad. So this one has a lot of unfinished business to be done. So, but the good thing is they are both enjoying, except for what happened in the Carabao Cup. And Pepper said, look, let's take the dust off our shoulders and move on, you know, because in the Carabao Cup. But if you take a look at both teams, Manchester United has got a better form, you know, but there's just something about playing Pep's team when they want to give you the pressing game, when they want to get that result. They can wear any team out on a good day. And that's what might just, you know, do it for Manchester City. But with the resolve that Erik ten Hag's team has shown lately, and the players wanting to prove a point, particularly with Cristiano Ronaldo out of the way, you know, that might just be the motivation that they will just take into the pitch and do the business tomorrow.
All right, we'll move straight to the North London derby, the hottest one, of course, on Sunday, where Arteta is saying that, look, he wants to try to end that long winless run at Tottenham Hotspur. The last time they had success right there, that was in 2014. Let's listen to Arteta talking ahead of the North London derby.
I just love it. That's the reason why we are here to play these kind of games. It's one of the biggest games of the season for us. We know how much it means right now for us on the table, and how much it means to our people as well. But we just have to focus on playing well and doing what we have to win the game. I don't know. Sometimes they approach games in different ways. Sometimes they are very aggressive from the beginning. Sometimes they allow you to make the game, and they have a lot of tools to use to cause you problems. So let's see. We have to start to see what the game develops. We will prepare for any occasion the best possible way, and then it will be left to the players to do what we have to do on the pitch. Anything that we can do to improve, we will always have conversation with our players, with the staff, and as a club as well to see what we can do better. We have to change any behavior. You know, we cannot talk about any other player. There are some interest that on things that we would like to do to improve the team, obviously, because we are a bit short in certain areas and with the injuries that we picked, but we are trying, and as a club we are determined to try to improve the team in every window, and that's what we are trying to do.
getting in players to also improve it. But then they're coming into this game 11 points clear of Tottenham Hotspur. And the fact that they have 44 points from 17 games, but indiscipline is a worry for Arsenal right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the last game, the Premier League game they played against Newcastle, they were fined £40,000. The last game they played against Oxford at the FA Cup, we also saw what happened. I think for Arteta, he really needs to talk to them. Also, he needs to talk to himself because we see the...
This for us before we leave the studio, North London derby, Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur.
Big game, and if you take a look at the league table, Arsenal on top of the league table with 44 points. Spurs, they are fifth on the log with 33 points. Spurs need this win more. Ask me why. That's because if they win and Manchester United and Newcastle don't win, Spurs might just shoot to third on the log. That's how important that game is for them, the North London derby. And they have the advantage. The head-to-head is beautiful for Antonio Conte's team. But Mikel Arteta understands that if Manchester City wins at Old Trafford, then that gap is closed. You don't want to allow Pep's team to come so close because that will be their motivation. So for Arsenal, try not to lose tomorrow. I totally agree with you guys. They need to be disciplined as a team. But, look, it's all shenanigans. Sometimes you need to do these talks because he still feels that his team was robbed against Newcastle. And he's been talking about it right here in England, that refereeing wasn't fair to them. So they will continue to be vocal, but you need to do it in a way that it must inspire your team, not distract your team. The good thing is they're not missing Gabriel Jesus so much. So if they get into that game with the mindset that they can do it without him, maybe they might just get the win. I think I'm done tonight. Cecilia, thank you so much. To everyone who has joined us in London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Favor Ito, I want to thank you so much for coming all the way. I mean, it's a long distance, right? Coming right to the studio. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Cecilia, for having me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic weekend.